Hi everyone, welcome to our asynchronous consumer math class for today. Today is Monday, April 20th, 2015. As you guys know, I'm out at PSSA's this week, so I'm going to be giving you a series of short recordings and then giving you your homework assignments for each day. So this is our recording for Monday. Our goal for today is to learn about what is a savings account, and also how do I find my current balance in my savings account. Okay, so quick look at our week. Today we're going to be doing the first half of section 7.02, and you guys will do the 7.02a homework. Tomorrow I'm going to give you a short recording for the second half of 7.02, and you'll be learning about something called simple interest. Your homework for that day will be 7.02b homework. On Wednesday, I'm going to give you a Unit 7 review recording, or possibly a review PowerPoint. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm going to be giving you some way for you to help to self-study and to review for Unit 7. And then on Thursday, you're going to take your Unit 7 exam. This is really more like a quiz in length. It's quite short because remember, we only had two sections for Unit 7. All right, we just had this checking account section and the savings account section. On Friday, it's still up in the air whether or not I'll be back for Friday. Either way, we're going to start Unit 8 on Friday, so it will either be in a live session with me. The 8.01 is all about credit cards, or if I'm not here, I will make you a recording for that first lesson, and then we'll probably continue that discussion into our class the following Monday. Okay, so we talked about checking accounts last week. Some of you guys said that you had checking accounts. Some of you said that you had savings accounts. And of course, some people have both. I happen to have both. Checking accounts definitely have more money going in and out. The checking account is where you deposit all of your paychecks, and that's where you pay all of your bills. Savings accounts typically have a lot less transactions. Usually there's no limit on the number of transactions, but the purpose of a savings account is for you to deposit money periodically and save up for some kind of a big purchase. Maybe you're saving up for a car, you might be saving up for college, or truly anything, maybe a big vacation, okay? Checking accounts are a useful way of keeping track of your spending, but there are always unexpected needs or items that you would like to be able to save up to buy in the future. So to avoid having to borrow money in these situations, this is when you'd want to open up a savings account. So in order for this to all work, you have to be thinking about something that you want to buy in the future. You have to be thinking about that now. So it takes a lot of self-control to use a savings account. This bullet point right here references borrowing money. And again, we're going to be talking about loans in Unit 8. So if you have questions about borrowing and about loans and about credit cards, hold on to all those questions, and we'll talk about them next week. Okay, savings accounts are a convenient and safe way to let your money grow. All right, they are, the first thing that, or actually it's the second thing it said here, is that they are safe. They're so safe, in fact, that banks are insured up to $250,000. And savings accounts also offer interest on your savings. Okay, on the next slide, I have just a little snapshot of the FDIC website, and it shows you what types of bank accounts are insured. Checking accounts and savings accounts are two of the types that are insured, and up to what amount. And like I said, the basic number is 250,000. That's really the number that you need to remember. So if you let your money sit in your savings account for a while and you let it sit there, and it will grow. And it will grow because savings accounts offer something called interest. And this is what we're going to learn about in your recording tomorrow, something called simple interest. Banks pay interest on savings accounts because they invest your money. So you deposit your money into your savings account. It's very safe where it is. The bank then in turn takes your money and invests it in all sorts of different investment opportunities, stocks and bonds and all sorts of things. And because they do that, they're able to make money, and they are then able to pay you interest on your savings accounts. They make some profit as well, and in return they agree to pay you a small percent of the interest. So you both win. Okay, this is one of the big ways that banks make money. Banks need to make money. They have to stay in business. They have to pay their employees. So one of the big ways is that they take your money and they invest it. Okay. You're going to have a deposit slip for a savings account that will look much like the deposit slip that you use for a checking account. Okay, so on the next slide, we're going to start with actually. First, I'm going to show you this little snapshot from the FDIC deposit insurance. This isn't something that was in the course, but it's just something that I think is interesting. And in the K-mail that I sent you guys this morning, there is a link to this website if anybody's interested in where did that $250,000 number come from, what's going on, how much am I insured, why am I insured. So this is just a little snapshot here. Okay, so since 1933, the FDIC seal has symbolized the safety and security of our nation's financial institutions. FDIC deposit insurance enables consumers to confidently place their money at thousands of FDIC-insured banks across the country and is backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. So you may have heard this term, FDIC-insured, or you may have seen it at your local bank. And you should really, really feel comfortable when you see this. This means a lot. Okay, so FDIC deposit insurance coverage depends on two things: whether your chosen financial product is a deposit product, and if you go to this website, you can read more about this, and whether your bank is FDIC insured. If you go to one of the major banks, though, it should be. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys that link and let you read more about that if you're interested. Okay, so the last skill that we want to learn about in this section is how to find your savings account balance. We did this with checking accounts, and there were two big takeaways that I wanted you guys to have from our lesson on Friday. And those were right here. Basically, that deposits mean addition and that withdrawals mean subtraction. Okay, and I told you that if you could remember that it would really help you in this lesson on savings accounts. So it's coming into play right now. Deposits still mean addition. Withdrawals still mean subtraction. The only difference is that we have a third type of a transaction, which is called interest. So interest, you can really think of it as being another type of a deposit. So it's also going to be addition. And remember, interest, we'll talk about how to calculate that tomorrow. But this is basically money that your bank is giving you because you're leaving your money in your savings account for a period of time. So this is, I was going to say this is a problem from the study guide, but it's not. The question on the study guide, Unit 7, study guide number 8, I think it asks you what to do with interest, whether we add that or subtract it. The problem on the board is just a practice problem. So I'm going to read you the problem, and I would suggest pausing the recording, see if you get the right answer, and then unpause it and watch me do it. Okay, I think that's probably the best way to do these. So it says the beginning balance in a savings account is $75. After a deposit of $25, what is the balance? Okay, so you see the word deposit, you should be thinking that it means addition. So underneath this blue box right here, I have the problem worked out. Remember, I think that working these out in a vertical, actually I think I'll just get rid of the blue box altogether. Working these out in a vertical fashion like this makes a lot of sense to me, and I would recommend for you guys to do it this way as well. So remember, we always start off at the top with our beginning balance, and you don't need to put a plus or a minus in front of it. That's the first number that's going to go into your calculator. And then you want to add your deposits, subtract your withdrawals, and add your interest. In this problem, all we have is a beginning balance of 75 and a deposit of 25. So 75 plus 25 is equal to 100. Okay, let's try another one. Another practice problem. The beginning balance in a savings account is $50. After a deposit of $20 and two withdrawals of $10 and $5, what is the balance? Okay, so for this one, we have the beginning balance, we have a deposit, and we have two withdrawals. So pause the recording and see what answer you get, and then I'll show you how to work it out. Okay, so for your answer, you should have a beginning balance of $50, a deposit of $20. You're going to add that, subtract your withdrawal of $10, subtract your withdrawal of $15, I'm sorry, a 5, and you should end up with $55. In fact, for this one, I think I'm going to show it to you on my calculator here just to show you how I do this. So I start with my beginning balance. I add my deposit. I subtract my withdrawal, subtract my other withdrawal, hit the equal sign, and you see that I get $55. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, this is from your study guide. This is Unit 7 Study Guide number 9. The beginning balance in a savings account is $50. After a deposit of $100, 2 withdrawals of $20 and $30, and $2 of interest earned, what is the balance? Okay, this one has all 3 types. It has a deposit, 2 withdrawals, and interest. So pause the recording, work it out on your own, and then unpause it. And I'm going to pull my calculator up again. Put that at the bottom of the screen here. Okay, so you have your beginning balance of $50. You add your deposit of $100, subtract your withdrawal of $20, subtract your withdrawal of $30, and add your interest. So remember, interest is the new thing here, and interest is just like a deposit. So again, on the calculator, it would look something like this. My beginning balance of 50 plus that deposit minus the withdrawal minus the second withdrawal, and then plus my interest, hit the equal sign, and you get $102. Okay. So that concludes this lesson. These are going to be mini lessons this week. You'll notice that this one was quite short. So what's next? Due by tomorrow, you want to do your 7.02a homework. Keep checking your K-mail every morning. I hope you guys are having a great week. You can reach me by K-mail, and I will reply to you in the evenings. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.